Sorry about that, folks. We've got audio now just in time for the national anthem, and then Mike and I will repeat everything that we said in that 90 seconds leading up. Welcome in, Mike Napolitano, my broadcast partner. My name's Aaron Schellen, and Mike, that was our dry run there as we were talking a little bit before the national anthem. Welcome to GBN, GBS hockey. Not much bigger in this area right here. These two teams battling. They played back in November in front of 1,300 fans, a game that saw the Spartans win 4-3 in overtime. A Vincent Serra game-winning goal in overtime was the difference there. Jackson Sterner added a couple of goals. Blake Smith with the other tally for the Spartans. And Victor Kulikov actually got the start in that game. He stopped 28 out of 31 tonight. It'll be the red-hot Logan Spiegel in net for the Spartans. And the Spartans have needed Logan to be every bit as good as he has been lately. He has stopped in his last 5 games. He's posting a .957 save percentage, a 1.8 goals against. He has stopped 201 of the last 210 shots that he has faced. He has been an absolute brick wall in goal for the Spartans, and they've needed them, Mike, because the Spartans offense has struggled. In their last 5 SHL games, just 6 goals. So not much margin for error, not much room for error there. And Logan has been every bit as good as they've needed him to be in this game that sees the 7th seed GBS Titans and the 8th seed GBN Spartans going at it. It's all about seeding right now. The top 8 teams make the SHL playoffs, Mike. So the teams are set. They're just working on seeding here.
You said it, Aaron. The offense needs to come alive tonight. You know you're going to get the goaltending from Spiegel, but Chicagoans just saw it. Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears. You can talk about Cubs and Sox. You can talk about the Blackhawks and the Red Wings and the Blues. Or you could talk about your very own Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. But right now we have rivalry night here between Glenbrook North and Glenbrook South hockey. Glenbrook South sporting these Winnipeg Jets-style jerseys, but much lighter blue and some yellow spread in there. They also have the helmets that would look like you were playing
Wolverines,
for
yeah.
Wolverines, Michigan.
So it's sort of a mishmash of colors, but it works. That blue and yellow is obviously a popular combination these days. As we're underway here from the Northbrook Sports Center, GBN coming in 9-10 with 3 overtime losses on the year, while GBS is 12-9 with a couple of overtime losses to their tally. They're in 7th place. The Spartans are in 8th. And we are playing some hockey here. That is Asher Vanderplug. Got a couple of Vanderplugs out there. Hannes throwing the puck forward to Ovanian. Ovanian avoids the hit. Ovanian in. The shot through, the rebound. Oh, not able to be tucked in out front. Ovanian, that shot broke through. Here's a shot through by Hannes. So good start here. Good couple of shifts for the Spartans here in the early going.
Good look early on from Ovanian, and we talked about that offense needing to get a jump, and that's what this Glenbrook North team really needs, is to just put pucks on net early. Just throw everything there. Get your rebounds, put the pressure on, force GBS to be on their heels.
And the Spartans have been outshot really horribly is probably the only way to put it over the last couple of weeks. They had the game against St. Viator. It was a 50-13 difference there as that pass is behind Blake Hoffer, and that'll go down for an icing. And the game against York, I think it was 48-21 or somewhere right in there. So they've had, not only have they had trouble scoring, they've had trouble generating a lot of offense. So good first couple of shifts there for the Spartans, and Ovanian and Hannes were almost able to put one home there as Ovanian's shot was off the pad of Preston, and Hannes was waiting on the back door, just wasn't able to finish. There's a shot from the point by Semmelhack, who over-under on Semmelhack minutes tonight. You've got a 51-minute hockey game, and I'm going to put the over-under
at 52.
I'm going to put it at about 32 minutes, I think, for Semmelhack as Blake Smith takes a shot from the high slot area that's gobbled up by Preston. That kid never comes off the ice, and he is just a rock back on the blue line. You see him already double shifting. He got the start with Jackson Strykowski. He's out there now with Luke Jackson. Yep.
Yeah, and he's in that shot position. So not only is he looking to be a defensive stalwart, but he's going to be taking some shots like he did just there. Try to get this Glenbrook North offense going early.
Yep, a couple of clean offensive zone draws here for GBN, setting up Semmelhack. Spartans trying to get some traffic in front of Preston here early. Fought for right at the dot, dug out by the Titans. It's fired in by Boris and held on to by Logan Spiegel.
Spiegel electing to hold on to that one as we saw a couple of white jerseys swarming into the offensive zone and just kill all momentum. Of course, you're going to have to face a very tough face-off in your zone. It's actually going to come to, looks like, to the blocker side of Spiegel. But if you can win this, you see Tutaj in that shooting lane as well. So both teams a similar style off the draw here in the offensive zones.
Tutaj with a backhand in that was saved by Spiegel. And Spiegel's been, I mean, not only is he, I mean, he's faced just a ton of rubber over the last few weeks. He's looked really comfortable doing it. He's never really looked out of position. A lot of easy blocker saves and, you know, catching the puck out of midair. But I've been really impressed with his blocker work. Here's Vanderploeg throwing it towards the front. Teddy McCrulis not able to play it cleanly. Back to the point, D to D. Fagan, high slot area. Vanderploeg gets bumped there by Smith. We talked about the big body of Blake Smith using it there. Asher Vanderploeg out. Fagan has it knocked away, and out with an out is Karras. The speed of Karras. Karras' shot into the body. The rebound, and scooped up by Preston. The Spartans would love to see number 3 get hot again. He's got 9 goals this year, Mike, but his last goal was back on November 5th. So it has been a while since Raymond Karras has been able to break through, and they need some additional goal scoring. You can't rely on that line of Sterner, Jarothanis, and Morrissey to give you all your offense. You got to get some offense from some other places.
And we've seen Karras create his own chances. It's just a matter of time before one more goes in, but he's got to get that monkey off the back. I know he's probably feeling it. You go the whole holiday break without getting one, and you got to imagine it's coming soon, but what do? You tape your stick a little differently, you cut it down a little differently, you tape the top grip a little bit differently. I don't know, you got to change something up, right? It's all superstition at that point.
A good start here for the Spartans, out shooting the Titans 7-3 in the first 3.5 minutes. Here's a clean face-off win for the Titans. That's through some traffic. It hits Daniel Sokol in the leg and goes wide. Beauvais tries to work it up the wall. It squirts out. Dumped deep by Tubuchanik. Now Sarah tries to turn and throw it around on his forehand, but loses the puck.
He whiffed on that, and he turned around and paid the price for it at the same time.
Attempted clear off the skates of Tubuchanik. Karras will bump into Tubuchanik as that shot comes down to Sarah, who flips it to the near point.
Karras was standing at the blue line and lined up the hit. He wasn't playing the puck the whole way. This time we'll get an offsides.
12:51 left first period, no score. Spartans and Titans. Jackson Sterner, 15 goals on the season to lead the way. Raymond Karras with 9, Blake Smith, Theo Gerothanis, each with 8. But haven't seen much. You know, this is, I think, our 5th or 6th GBN game this season. And, you know, short of, you know, the goal that Semmelhack had against York on the power play and then a Blake Smith power play goal, it's really just been Jackson Sterner. We haven't really seen a lot of offense from anybody else on this Spartans team, so I'd love to see somebody else break through here.
It was a good catch on the bench by Connor Hannes as that one popped out of play. We'll resume in the Glenbrook North zone, but as you mentioned, yeah, the offense really has to get going. You see the shots on goal already, 8-3 in favor of the Spartans, which is not typically the start nor the entire game that you get from them. You talked about them almost liking to play under that pressure, or at least Spiegel does, where he's facing about 60 shots a game. And I talked about the Bears. It's kind of that same mentality where you want them to start on time. You want them to get the points you know they can, or score the goals that you know they can. But they almost like playing with their backs against the wall to an extent. But if you're GBN, you want to be on the complete other side of that ice surface.
Yeah, I don't know how much you like playing on your heels, but what I will say is they're comfortable doing it.
Right.
You know, they don't, you know, they might be getting outshot 3-1 in a particular game, but they don't look,
but the score
they're not scrambling defensively. You know, it's just
right.
they allow a lot of shots from the outside, stuff that's easy for Spiegel to see. There's a shot that whistles wide by Gerothanis. Is shoveled in. Morrissey will go back to play it with Tutai on his back. Thrown around, Sterner kicks it to himself. Now behind the net, Luke Jackson out in front. Vanderplug the cross ice pass looking for Tutai out in front. Now Vanderplug behind the net. Gretzky's office, as they say, gets bumped by Sully Lyons.
Lyons breaking up both of those plays, the pass across in front and then stepping into Gretzky's office to break that up from behind the net as well.
And then eluded a hit to continue to play the puck forward. So good shift by Sully Lyons right there to take the offensive opportunity away from the Titans. It's cleared in.
Stolen behind. Almost had a centering pass there for the Spartans, but nothing doing there.
Offer tries to center it and can't. Outlet pass here, Karras. Raymond Karras takes the shot into the glove of Preston.
Well, Karras has that speed, but he just, you know, there wasn't a way to break through the defenders there. So I like that shot. Not only are you shooting through traffic, so it makes it a little bit harder for the goaltender to see that shot, but you're also going to just win yourself a face-off in the offensive zone and give your team a chance to set up. He's also the centerman, so it comes down to him.
Karras, Ovanian, and Hannes are out there right now. It's Karras tries to walk forward with it. It's taken away from him, and GBS will work it out. Hannes, second opportunity, third opportunity, finally gets it into the Titan zone. It's thrown to space, but no one there but Semmelhack. And Jake Semmelhack will take it wide, drops it to Ovanian. Ovanian will clear it deep. Behind the net, that's Luke Fagan. He'll throw it up the far wall. Played there by Cosmeter. Cosmeter now on his forehand, looking for some place to go with it. That's deflected by Weiss. Semmelhack back to play it with Hofer on his back. Jake will spin back to his backhand, try the other side, flips it forward to Nicholas Jackson. It's not out, but a big hit by Semmelhack as he takes Mendoza down.
That was an immediate response to the hit that was put on his teammate right there. And could have been numbers on Luke Jackson on there.
Fagan throws it in, and Spiegel won't take any chances. He'll cover up for a whistle and a face-off.
Excuse me, that wasn't Luke Jackson. That was the other Jackson out there.
Nicholas. 44-10.
Yes.
At least it makes it a little bit easier because
right.
one is a forward, one's a defenseman.
Yes, true.
Yeah. So you don't have a lot of that, you know, D to D passing where it's one Jackson to another. Pinto throws it in through some traffic, and Sarah with it now. Sarah backhands it out to the neutral zone. Thrown back in, Sully Lyons. Throws it far side, up the wall, and Spartans work it out. Titans now in the neutral zone. That's cleared in by Charlie Preston. Lions back to play it with Boris on the forecheck. Boris pushes Sully up against the boards. Back to the point, Pinto. Pinto D to D. Shot through some traffic, goes high. Ventura bumped hard by Nicholas Jackson. Boris and Lions will fight behind the net. Another win for Sully Lions. Hits the linesman in the corner. Blake Smith comes over to play it, given away. The shot through Spiegel bounces out the near side.
It was a tough angle shot, and Spiegel had all of it, but just didn't realize that where it went after that, after it popped up in the air.
Blake Smith is able to relieve some of the pressure and let his team at least partially change. The D stays out there. Lions out there with Sarah. Karras, Beauvais into the offensive zone. Ryan Mulvey forward to Graham Vanderplug. They lose it. And now Babala. Babala down low, throws it in from a bad angle, and it forces Preston to cover up. 8:39 left, still no score. Shots 9-6 in favor of the Spartans.
Spartans have done a really nice job of exiting their own zone and moving the puck through the neutral zone. It's just that last pass right as they get to the far blue line that has somewhat eluded them. This last opportunity, the puck did get deep enough for them to earn a face-off in the offensive zone, but zone entries are just a little bit tough against the defense that stays high at that blue line from Glenbrook South.
Luke Jackson tries to take the shot from the point, but it deflects into the very low rafters here at the Northbrook Sports Center, so we'll get an offensive zone face-off for the Spartans. It's one into the far corner, but played there by Charlie Tubakanik. Dumped to space. Tubakanik pitchforks it in on the backhand. Semmelhack is there. Backhanded around Beauvais. Up the wall. GBS trying to cycle. Top of the near circle. Into the corner. Hit there. Luke Jackson. Karras. See if he can use that speed here. Karras down the wall. Luke Jackson takes the shot. The backhand. The rebound comes out. Beauvais. Here's a shot in from a bad angle. And Karras. It's a lot on it, but the save made by Preston.
Well, Karras starts that rush right there, and the puck just doesn't come with him, so it's almost an unintentional drop pass, but Spartans are able to keep it in the zone, and Karras just does what anybody should off the puck, is your spatial awareness, your high hockey IQ, just get into a spot where you know the shot's going to be coming off of that goaltender and get a rebound.
Behind the net with it, Morrissey. Back to the point, Sarah. Sarah tries to throw it through some traffic. It deflects up against the back wall. Sterner can't play it away from Vanderplug, Asher Vanderplug, and that's going to be iced by GBS. Another offensive zone face-off. 7:29 left. First period, still no score.
We're talking with the booth next to us as we have dueling broadcasting booths.
Yeah, I love this. This is the first time I think you and I have ever done a game where we've had both a home and a road broadcast, so to speak.
Glenbrook South was telling us that the Vanderplugs, of course, both of them are very talented, but Asher was the one getting offers for NA3 hockey, so he's going to have a decision to make if he's going to go down and play for a team in Texas or play for the Power up in Wisconsin.
Where would you go? Obviously, it's warmer down in Texas, but you know, you're thinking hockey. I mean, it's Texas tough. Or Wisconsin, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would lean Wisconsin. You're a little bit closer to home unless you do want to go far away from home. And, you know, you've got that hockey weather in Wisconsin. But opportunities galore, I'm sure, with both, regardless of which one you choose. I had a friend that played for the Peoria Mustangs. So I know that there are a lot of great organizations in that league. And they're going to develop players the right way no matter where you go.
Well, right now it's hockey weather pretty much everywhere in the United States.
That is true.
Right? It's,
you're not going to escape it.
Right. I mean, isn't Texas supposed to shut down over the next day or two with the amount of ice that they get as it's iced here by the Spartans?
I haven't paid attention to them. I know.
I will tell you to stay
our own
warm.
Weather is just enough for me to stay inside the house.
Yeah, Friday.
I'm still crazy enough to go outside.
Friday is going to be dangerous. So if you don't have to go outside Friday, don't. And I don't plan on going outside Friday. I don't think I have to leave the house again after today until Saturday.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. I don't like leaving the house.
I like it a little bit, but not too much.
You're a lot younger than me, though.
Not too much.
I much prefer just sitting on my couch. That's an old man thing. Pinto up the wall as Cosmeter tries to backhand it out in front. He can't. Lyons to Ovanian, flips it to Luke Jackson. Jackson will take the shot from just inside the blue line, and holding on will be Thomas Preston. 6:29 left. Shots are, say, 11-6 in favor of the Glenbrook North Spartans.
This is something we haven't seen from the Spartans, is just throwing everything on net. It's kind of what we've been asking for here in the booth, and I'm sure at home a lot of people were as well. But even if it's not a great shot or a high danger chance, just you're getting offensive zone draws and keeping it away from your goaltender so that you can create some kind of offense from nothing and hopefully take the lead first. The shots, we mentioned, usually at this point, they're getting outshot. They're actually doubling Glenbrook South in shots, 12-6.
There's the blocker save made by Spiegel, and now out with it is Hannes. Too much on that pass for Ovanian. That'll be icing.
I think that did tip Ovanian's stick, but referee signaled otherwise, so we'll get an icing.
And just to your point, Mike, the idea of, you know, the hockey cliche, put the puck on net, good things will happen. I mean, I've had conversations with parents of fans of the team and players of the team, and it's, you know, it's nothing about the strategy. It's just we have to figure out a way to get more offense.
Yeah.
You know, and when you score 6 goals in a 5-game period, I think that's a fair argument. You have to figure out a way to get more goals, and the only way to get more goals is to shoot more.
Glenbrook North having a struggle here on how they want to set up on this draw in the defensive zone.
Well, it's won by GBS, swept deep, Strykowski.
Jackson Sterner didn't know where to go. I'm not sure if they were trying to do something new there or the referee just wasn't allowing him to stand where he wanted to.
Worked out to Semmelhack. Nice move there by Jake. The pass a little bit behind Jarothanis, though. Good feed by Semmelhack, just a little bit behind, and we got an icing?
An icing here.
A clear in from just the wrong side of the red line.
Sterner was in motion like he would be in football as the quarterback's saying hike as the referee's dropping that puck. So I'm not sure what the miscommunication was there in the defensive zone. Luckily, the Spartans were able to clear the length of the ice, and it'll come all the way back down for an icing. So they'll get an offensive draw themselves.
Pushed behind the net, played there by Will Fagan. Sterner tries to center it with the hard backhand pass. Now Asher Vanderplug. His pass too far out in front of his intended recipient. I think that was Teddy McCrulis. That'll be another icing. Well, a lot of icings here in the first period between these two teams.
Yeah, very start-stop period. We are down to just 5 minutes and 20 seconds, so the clock has been moving here, but not a whole lot of high danger chances for either side as they're struggling to get the puck off the perimeter and into the center. You were mentioning earlier, though, Aaron, just throwing things at net. A lot of times at this level, you're not doing a full scouting report on the away goaltender. I mean, maybe you see them a couple times throughout the season. You could look at a stat sheet, but that won't tell you the whole story. So you never know how you're going to beat a guy. So just throw the whole kitchen sink at him, I guess is the saying, right?
Not a bad idea. Jarothanis whiffs on the first clearing attempt, gets it back, finds Sterner. Sterner up the near side, gets stick checked. That puck will bounce behind Morrissey and let GBS come the other way. Nope, they give it away. Sterner, though, 1-on-4. He'll go back and play it. He'll sweep it in and complete the change for the Spartans. Sarah fires it in. Played off the back of the nets. Vanderplug. Asher Vanderplug up through center ice. Has got Smith on his back. Gets around Damian Jerzak. Goes coast to coast. Throws the backhand in on net. That hits a skate and bounces back to Logan Spiegel, who sees it all the way. You know, I feel, you talk about a baseball player when they're really locked in at the plate. And you talk about the baseball looks like the size of a beach ball, right?
Yes.
It's kind of what it feels like for Logan Spiegel right now. This run that he's on, that puck looks like the size of a beach ball.
Yeah, because that even went off of Sarah in front, and we were just talking about throwing anything at the net. I think it went the other way for Glenbrook South as Vander Ploeg just throws that one. It goes off the defender's skates, and somehow Spiegel's still able to locate amongst not only black pads, but black skates on both him and the defender.
It's going to come all the way out. Race for the puck here. Drop pass Hofer, his shot, and Spiegel in that right arm and blocker area makes the save, as that was a nice drop feed by Kosmeter to Blake Hoffer, who his next goal will give him triple digits. It's a big goal for him. He's sitting on 99 career goals. I hope he gets 100, just not today.
And Kosmeter, I mean, you mentioned what an all-star snub. We were talking with the Glenbrook South side of things, and I mean, that man is leading his team in points and not named to the all-star team. So two guys you don't want coming down the wing on that rush.
10 goals, 17 assists for Kosmeter to lead the way, and he did not make the all-star team. It's hard, though, right? I mean, because every team needs to be represented.
Right.
You know, and an argument can be made that, maybe you don't need, and I don't have the rosters in front of me, but maybe you don't need 7 or 8 players from, here's an opportunity thrown towards the goal by Gerald Thanis. Maybe you don't need 8 players from the top 2 teams. Maybe 7 is good, and you can, give somebody else a chance from another team. But, a lot of good players, so there's always going to be a snub, right? Every all-star game, every level, every sport, somebody always gets snubbed. It's just the way it goes.
With this being a rivalry matchup, it's less looking at it as a snub and more of a dark horse. You just don't want that guy to quietly accumulate points or create rushes against you.
To Mechanic. His shot through gets knocked down as he fires the shot wide. Pinto from the point, directed into the corner. Sokol behind the net to Mechanic. Back behind the net, Graham Vander Ploeg. He loses it. Gerald Thanis whiffs a little bit on that clear. He'll have to go back and get it. He gets double teamed, taken away by the Titans. Back to the point, Pinto. Pinto tries to clear it deep, and now a potential 3-on-2. But these 3 players, Babala, Gerald Thanis, and Beauvais, have been out there for a long time, and they have to change.
It was also rolling on Gerald Thanis. Not an easy puck to corral, but just got to get that deep, and he does.
Strykowski up to Ovanian. The puck comes in, and Karras tips it home. I talked about this, Mike. Raymond Karras has not scored since November 5th. He gets one here, and the Spartans take a 1-0 lead.
Karras is fired up after that one. What do we say? Just go to the right places even when you don't have the puck. And that one was one where Preston just didn't glove it correctly. It just bounces off his pads funny and sits in the crease, and just a lucky bounce for Karras. But they don't ask how. They ask how many, right? Who cares if it's lucky? It's a goal for Karras, and that monkey is off the back. You saw the excitement from him as he went through the handshake line and even back to his own goaltender, Spiegel.
Karras, for Raymond Karras, that is goal number 10. I told you, Mike, I wanted to see offense from somebody other than number 80, and we saw it here tonight already in the first period. And Mike, this is now the 3rd consecutive game that you and I have been here for GBN where they have taken a 1-0 lead. The question now is, can they hold on?
Yes.
They were up 1-0 over St. Viator. They lost that game 2-1. They were up 1-0 on York. They lost that game 3-2. Both of those in overtime.
Well, they all look like carbon copies of each other until you look at how they're actually playing. Of course, the eye test is important. We talked about the shots on goal. We've seen this Spartans team in the offensive zone a lot more in this game than we have in those others. And those others, it almost seemed like it was a lucky bounce in which that puck looked out. There's a huge hit from Morrissey.
Morrissey takes the puck in. The shot is deflected through, but Morrissey, defense into offense there. Love taking the body. Here's a long aerial pass looking for Kosmeter. Kosmeter heals the slap shot. Weiss over by the far wall, gets bumped by Strykowski. Morrissey up the wall. Battle right along, right in front of the GBN bench. It is cleared out.
Under a minute here.
Play in center ice. Hoffer skates through. Now he goes east and west, tries to go around Jero Thanis, backhands it to the far side. Cosmeter.
I was ready to catch that.
That was
one,
coming. We are fortunate that the rafters are low here in Northbrook, as that puck was coming right towards us, but the rafters knocked it down, and looks like everybody is okay down to our left as that puck bounced right. We were talking.
I was just talking about lucky bounces.
Well, we were talking about lucky bounces. You and I also, before the game, we were talking about how Jackson Strykowski has yet to score a point this season. As that puck deflects through, well, he picked up an assist on that goal. So first point of the year for Jackson Strykowski. It was Karras from Strykowski. Back to the points. Giveaway there. Jaro Thanis, the aerial feed, looking for Sterner. Fagan will dump it in with 10. Stopped by Spiegel. Lyons will just pin it up against the back wall. Comes out into the near corner, back to the point. Fagan can't play the puck. It'll come out of the zone, and we're through 17. And Raymond Karras, his 10th goal of the season, will give the Spartans a 1-0 lead as we go to period 2. This is GBN Hockey on the GBN Hockey Channel. Back here getting ready for second period action. Mike, you were in the middle of a thought when we came to the end of that first. Let's expunge or expound on that thought, would you?
Well, you had talked about how all 3 games that we've covered thus far, Glenbrook North has taken a 1-0 lead off lucky bounces, including this one. That would be a lucky bounce right there, too. The difference, that is not a carbon copy of the other 2 games, is that the offense has shown up in this one and are leading in shots on goal, and that just doesn't reflect in the numbers, but it also reflects in the ice time in the offensive zone for the Spartans. So they look like a different team here tonight offensively.
Yeah, they have 15 shots in that first period. In that 2-1 loss to St. Viator, whatever it was 2 weeks ago, they had 15 shots in 4 periods.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been a different performance. A long way to go, though.
Still,
that should be an offsides, as Vanderplug was about 2 steps in ahead of the play, but nothing called.
I think they got away with one right there.
Yeah, they did. Mulvey takes it away from Sterner. He'll whistle it wide. Jaro Thanis tries to bang it out. He can't. Kept in. Tutai runs into the lineman, into the linesman, and now GBN finally works it out. Sterner will flip opposite corner. Jaro Thanis will go over against Will Fagan. And Sterner lays the shoulder into Mulvey. Strykowski keeps it in at the near points. Mulvey backhands it up the wall. Strykowski pinches, and now it's a potential 2-on-1. Tutai with Vanderplug. Strykowski gets back nicely, though. Good back check by Jackson Strykowski. Tutai goes down, takes the net off the pegs, but that's good defense by number 5 in black right there to get back defensively.
Yeah, not just with the body, but with the stick in the lane as well, just disrupting that pass to the middle. Otherwise, that's a clear opportunity on goal there, even if it is just a deflection. But the big body and also the perfectly placed stick, keeping that puck out of his own net, but running into his own net, so we'll get a whistle.
Yeah, you got a little concern there when Jackson pinched, right? When he came up the half wall and the puck bounced past him, but he used that speed to get back and do a really nice job to get back into the play. Here's a shot from the point that'll go wide of Spiegel. Bump there, and GBN will skate out with it. This is Sarah, gain the red line and scale it in. Ovanian tries to tip it up in the air. Karras can't play it, neither can Hannes. And out with it is Blake Hoffer. Hoffer into the attacking zone. The shot and a nice glove save made by Spiegel. There is a rebound, but puck is, I think, cleared into the seats, and we'll have a whistle and a face-off.
That one just barely stayed in on the netting there, but otherwise I think that was, unless somebody threw that in quickly, but yeah, puck out of play, and we'll pause. Weissel's step in for the draw here for Glenbrook South. They have that low man, but not in the shooting lane necessarily. He's in the circle, but he's along the wall rather than the slot.
Attempted clear is deflected off of Weiss, but now Karras takes the shot, directed into the corner. Hannes plays it through his legs. Karras right out in front. His shot is deflected out. You were kind of hoping you got one and maybe the floodgates would open. But here's a chance. Pass is flipped over into the near wall. It's off the side of the net. Behind the net's Kosmeter.
I think Kosmeter got a piece of that too to deflect it.
Whistled into the offense, into the opposite corner. Now Luke Fagan walks top of the near dot, throws it out in front. A couple of attempts. That's flipped up over the net. Spiegel does a nice job holding the post. Ovanian, nice feed out to Hannes, and Hannes will dump and allow his team to change up, rather. Excuse me. Hoffer. He throws it cross ice. Luke Jackson will throw it up ice, and we will have an icing.
Yeah, I've seen Glenbrook North in the offensive zone struggle to get a cycle going, but you see Glenbrook South, their game, if they can't pry it off the boards, is going to be a lot of cycling that puck. So you just got to watch out. Once that goes to the back door like it did on that last offensive opportunity, you don't want that one sneaking in as a weak goal.
The face-off will be to the right here of Logan Spiegel. Bit of a delay here, but I think we're ready to go now. He'll come in on Logan, and he will throw the mid on it. A couple minutes gone by here in the second period. A Raymond Karras goal in the first, his 10th of the season. Gave the Spartans a 1-0 lead. That's currently where we stand. Smith on the draw against Boris. Another shot, another save made by Spiegel. Boris below the net. Backhands it through the crease. Nice feed. Mendoza will pinch from the far point. He tries to clear it in. Semmelhack will knock it down with his hand. And Jake gets double teamed, but as he usually does, he wins it cleanly, finds his D partner, and who are we going to get? Are we going to get Luke Jackson?
I think we're going to get a tripping penalty here. I did not see the stick in the
Neither
skates,
did I. It looked like the GBS skater just went down in the corner. And Jackson's having a couple of words with the officials here.
It's going to be an interference call.
Interference on Jackson,
ruling that
okay.
the puck wasn't in that playable position there when Luke Jackson had the hit. I was going to say, I didn't see the stick in the skates, but that makes a lot more sense. Unfortunately, that'll be the first penalty of the game. They did test out those lapel mics.
I think he's just a little bit too hot. We got some feedback on it. I think he just needs to turn the volume down a tiny bit, and we'll be all right. But yeah, that'd be cool if we get the linesman giving us the actual calls on the ice. But it was interference on Luke Jackson, so first power play of the game will go to the Titans. It's cleared out. It's deflected down. Sterner's not able to get to it. Now Mulvey. Forward Cosmeter, far points. Drop pass, Hoffer. Cosmeter skates it deep, takes it below the net. What a save made by Spiegel. Once again, the left pad by Logan Spiegel coming up huge, keeping his team up 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, would you expect anything less from a man whose save percentage in these last 5 games is .910? I mean, that is just phenomenal.
At .960, Mike.
960. Excuse me.
Yeah, you don't undersell what Logan has done here over the last 5 games. 201 of his last 210 shots faced coming into today. He is kept out of the net, and he's added 15 more here today.
I was thinking of that 210 number and got him mixed.
That's all right. Here's a chance, potential breakaway. In all alone is Karras again. Karras up over the nets. Clean look in, that blazing speed of Raymond Karras, and just shot it high.
They've had a couple of really odd bounces in favor of Glenbrook North here. One that didn't get deep, but 2 that have sprung them on almost breakaways while shorthanded. And you got to think that that's frustrating the Glenbrook South team a little bit on their man advantage here.
Hoffer. GBN really aggressive on this PK. Karras has his stick knocked out of his hands. He'll go back and get it. Only 20 seconds left on the power play. Most of this power play has been spent in the GBS zone.
Yeah, or at least in the neutral zone, clearing the puck out. So that's a huge kill.
Once
big
again,
momentum boost.
Gerald Thanis sweeps it in deep. Fagan from Mulvey. Down to 1 second as Luke Jackson steps out of the box. Really good PK by the Spartans there, but you got to be careful here. That minute right after the power play, as I was saying, GBS ties it at 1, and that is Blake Hofer. Give him 100 career goals. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Blake Hofer, we were mentioning earlier, just getting to that 100 mark, and you had a feeling that with talent like that it was going to happen, but then again, with talent in the crease for Glenbrook North, you could see it holding off a game. Unfortunately, that's what ties this game here.
And that one's tough, right? You had the breakaway from Karras not 30 seconds before, a chance to put your team up. And we saw that, you know, I hate to make parallels to some of these other games, but St. Viator game, up 1-0. They were being outplayed, so again, different than what we're seeing here, but they were up 1-0. They had a penalty shot called in that one. They weren't able to score on the penalty shot to go up 2-0. St. Viator was able to tie it in the third, win it in overtime. So you hope that breakaway, the inability to score in that breakaway doesn't come back to hurt the Spartans here, as we're tied at 1 with 11:30 left to go middle frame.
It is tough because we just talked about building the momentum and that little momentum boost you get from killing in power play like that. But as you said, that is the worst time to give up a goal, is when you've done all that work to kill the man advantage and build a little momentum yourself with some offensive zone entries and breakaways, and unfortunately you still let one up regardless.
Not just give up, not just kill the power play, but that was a really good PK by the Spartans as well. They didn't allow GBS really anything at all. The 2 best opportunities on that power play both came for the Spartans, and then not 30 seconds after that PK ends, you give up a goal on the back doorstep. So we're tied at 1.
You got to wonder if it's just that power play unit just gets a little tired out there. You get a little complacent. The legs start to feel like jelly at the end of a long shift despite that momentum boost.
Yeah, you wonder if, you know, you kind of take your foot off the accelerator a little bit, right? Like you're locked in when you're on the power play. You've got, you know, I know what I have to do here for this power play or for this PK and what my role is and where I need to be. And the minute you get that 5th skater back out there, you have to immediately change your mindset, right? And what you're doing and what the expectations are of you. And that happens a lot. It happens a lot in hockey where that goal is scored right after the power play. And it happened here, tying the game at 1.
Plus, you get that skater back, that might not necessarily be your line mate. So even though you're getting that man back on the ice, it might not actually help with the chemistry. And if you switch him out, you're in the second period here. It's the period of the long change. So that other skater that comes and replaces him, or even the man coming out of the box, has a long way to skate in order to rejoin the opportunity. So it's almost like the power play is still on for an extra 2 or 3 seconds.
Weiss with a shot into the body of Spiegel, who lets it fall down in front of him and cover up. Cosmeter and Mulvey on the assists on that goal from Hoffer. Back to the point, Mendoza, D to D. Mulvey through some traffic off the post and out. Spiegel had no idea where that puck was, Mike. We couldn't see him from where we're standing, and if we couldn't see him, he couldn't see the puck.
Yeah, no, I could see his reaction after the fact, but like you mentioned, couldn't see him. There were so many bodies in front of that net, and somehow that puck had eyes and found its way to the iron.
Chipped forward, Smith not able to play it. Hoffer will go back and get it. Smith eludes him with under 10 now. Hoffer whiffs on the pass, but Mulvey is there to clean it up. Blake Smith on the forecheck. Smith just
Huge
takes it
body.
away. Trying to throw it out in front for Karras. The puck is loose, and diving on it is Thomas Preston. Blake Smith using that huge body to just bury Mulvey behind the net, and Karras was waiting on the doorstep.
We've talked about him before. I'm not sure if I've made the comparison before, but that's like a Dustin Byfuglien there.
Yes, you have. Yeah, you've called him Dustin Byfuglien before.
And I mean that in the best way possible. He's got the big body, able to knock guys off the puck, and he does it in the offensive zone behind the net. And a centering pass that becomes a little troublesome for the goaltender, Thomas Preston.
Karras through some traffic, goes wide. Pass behind its intended target, Babala. Swept in by Beauvais. Fagan off the glass and out, and that will be not icing. It's waved off.
Now, the arm was up initially.
Yeah, I saw multiple arms go up. Lyons tries to chip it forward. Beauvais will skate across the attacking zone. Has Karras on his left. Beauvais still has the puck on his stick. Comes out the near side. Babala's shot will ride up in over the net into the crowd of GBN students behind the bench or behind Preston.
You gotta consider that the student section. We just had a puck come in from the fans over here. I'm not sure if that's one that we're going to be using. Referees are going to inspect that one, I think, real quick. But yeah, it's good to go. So
really
fans
good.
Looking out for them.
Really good game so far for Raymond Karras. Obviously picked up the goal, but he's been probably the most noticeable forward for the Spartans here through the first 25 minutes of play. Morrissey, Jarrod Thanis, Sterner out there, the top line for the Spartans. Morrissey to Sterner. Out front, the shot, the right pad save made by Preston. Jarrod Thanis camping in the slot. Morrissey will have to go touch up. I'll let GBS play possession, but good passing there by this top line. Getting an open shot from inside the slot area. Pass will bounce over Serra. He'll have to go back and play it. Bounces over the stick of Vanderplug, and now Jarrod Thanis down the far side. Jarrod Thanis tries to throw it towards the goal. He'll overskate it behind the net. Now out with it come the Titans. It's Tutai, throws it in off the pads of Spiegel. Semmelhack. Jarrod Thanis, Sterner tips it to himself. Now Semmelhack into the attacking zone. Semmelhack throws it on goal. It's played by Preston with 8 minutes left.
Good high pressure from Sterner there. It seemed like the rest of GBN was going to change, and they thought the goaltender there, Preston, was going to hold that puck, but instead played it late. There was no whistle.
Pass out to Hannes. He tips it into the corner. He'll go after it with Mulvey. Overskates it.
Hannes was expecting that hit in the corner, so got in front to play the puck first, but then held up, hesitated just slightly because he knew the hip check or the check from behind was coming.
Karras back to Semmelhack. Luke Jackson now for the Spartans, trying the cross-ice pass to Karras. Ovanian, ooh.
That was
Karras
close.
was a step in ahead of the play. Ovanian was about ready to pull the trigger.
And that previous play, Semmelhack did a great job to stay onside. Not sure if he saw his man at the far side of the blue line near the Spartans bench, but won the race on that one and got a shot on goal to get a face-off. This time it'll come outside the zone, though.
Weiss and Karras, it's one. Hannes tries to just move forward with it. Hannes' shot deflects well wide, and that'll let Anthony Pinto play the puck forward, but Semmelhack will take it back. Finds Hannes, top of the near dot. Hannes drags, drives the net. Hannes through. Ovania not able to tuck. Hannes again sweeps it back around, but leaves it right for Blake Hofer. Nice play there by Karras to knock it away. Now Karras has it back. This pass is over the stick of Ovanian, though. Pinto indirect, stolen by Semmelhack. Jake will walk into the attacking zone, cut across. Shot deflects wide. Nick Jackson sweeps it through. Ooh, almost caught multiple defenders and a goalie off guard there, but just shoved it through the paint. Smith battling with Mulvey. Weiss takes it away. Jackson bumps Weiss. Jerzak throws it in from a distance. Luke Jackson on the rebound. Tries to go cross ice. The pass is broken up. Hofer overskates the puck.
I'm not sure if that hit the referee or just that snow mound in front of the bench.
I think it hit the snow mound in front of the bench and just stopped. Jackson will go back to play it with Hofer. Hofer bumps Nicholas Jackson. He's out there with Luke Jackson. I knew that was going to happen at some point. Now in the near corner, Luke has it. Forward to Damian Jerzak. Jerzak's cross-ice pass doesn't connect. And now Luke Jackson back to play it again. Over to Strykowski, but too far out in front of him. Big hit by Strykowski to knock Ventura off his skates, and then the hit is completed by Blake Smith as he buries Ventura behind the net.
He's quick to return the favor in the physicality department.
Boris behind the net. The centering feed deflected wide of the far post. Back to the near point, comes out of the zone, and that's flipped up into the rafters for a whistle and a face-off. That's been a fun one. It's my first GBN GBS South GBS game, and it's lived up to its billing. It's been fun so far.
No doubt. We just saw a great opportunity from Karras in the offensive zone with that little power move to the front and getting an opportunity, but still a tie game here. He's got one. You got to imagine that now that he's got the first goal since November 5th, he's going to feel like he's got the hot stick, so might as well keep riding it.
Spartans win the draw. Sarah and Strykowski. Jaro Thanis able to tip it deep with 5:10 left. Mendoza quickly up through the neutral zone. Jaro Thanis out there with Babala and Beauvais, and that pass is deflected into the rafters again. Again, really low rafters here. You can actually see them right at the top of the screen there. It's, I mean, from ice level, that's what, 20 feet, 25 feet?
Probably.
Maybe 30 tops.
Yeah, maybe 25.
Yeah, it's a low ceiling, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think you even have a Jumbotron that low in typical rinks, but players make do with it here other than it hitting a couple of rafter beams.
Face off is won and cleared out. And once again, up into the rafters.
Well, two things we've been fighting in this second period are the rafters and these snow mounds. You saw on Karras' opportunity in the offensive zone that I was talking about just a moment ago, it looked like it had hit the referee's skate in the corner. May have, but I think more so it just died in that corner. We've seen some odd bounces as well. So I'm not sure if the puck is just warm or if we've got some odd ice conditions out here. We will get a resurfacing after this period, and much needed for both sides.
Babala absolutely laid out at center ice, loses his stick as he gets hit hard, but on the attack, off the post and out.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Austin Beauvais thought he had one, banged his stick on the ice, and he knocked down from behind, and now out with it is Jaro Thanis. Jaro Thanis to Karras. Back to two-tie.
Yet another one off of an odd bounce. I think that one did hit the official, but good opportunity for Glenbrook North.
Bounces in the air, kept in at the point. Shot wide by McCrulis. Mendoza at the near point. D to D, here's a shot through, and another nice save by Logan Spiegel. So each team has hit a post here in the second period. 1-1, 4 minutes, 4 seconds. Left shots 20-19 in favor of GBN.
Back and forth affair with some music on both ends, as you mentioned.
Techno.
Iron being drawn. Well, yeah, techno, but iron being
You're talking
drawn
about
on,
that kind of music.
Yeah, on both sides.
Heavy
so
metal.
These two teams have had their chances for sure, despite all of the odd bounces that we've talked about, whether it's the rafters, the ice, just the puck itself, or the officials. But they're part of the game, too.
Vanyan's able to clear it out, and then it's thrown back in off the blocker of Spiegel and up into the rafters.
Yep.
3:50 left, second period.
We've seen it be a factor before at this rink, but not as much as it has been here just alone in this second period. I could even talk this whole game, but mostly this second period. Everything seems to want to go upwards.
Gerothanis, Sterner, and Morrissey, and GBN has been double shifting Theo Gerothanis most of the game. We've seen him out there on multiple lines pretty much all evening long. Him and Semmelhack playing a ton for the Spartans here this evening.
It's another big body, and we've seen a lot of big body play, for whether it's from Smith or Gerothanis or Semmelhack. I mean, you've got a strong offense and defense when you have those big guys out there, and GBS has not backed down in their department either.
Here's Hoffer again. He'll try to curl it in, but it's deflected back to the point. Pinto's shot, glove save by Spiegel. He saw that one all the way, and Logan has stopped 19 out of 20, so now that's quick math, 220 of his last 230 shots he stopped.
I mean, there's no surprise. His tracking has been phenomenal tonight. You see him on the top of the crease right there. Anytime there's been bodies in front of him, for the majority of those times, he's seen it all the way somehow.
Well, to give you an idea of how good he has been, 19 out of 20, his save percentage actually dropped.
Right, yeah, well.
19 out of 20 is a 950. He's been at 957 over the last 5 games. So he stopped 19 out of 20, and his save percentage has gone down.
When your save percentage is that high to begin with, you need a lot of shots on net just to basically keep it there. Otherwise, one goal is going to drop it no matter what. But, I mean, just an absolute showing from Spiegel as usual in the crease. And his team, we've talked about it, they put up the offense to help him tonight that we haven't seen. We talked about watching whole Glenbrook North game in which they finished with 15 shots on goal. They're at 20 right now. That's the same as Glenbrook South. So they've kept up with this competition.
Yeah, the only caveat, and the only thing that would concern me a little bit is that 15 of those 20 came in the first period.
True,
There's a shot. Spiegel makes the save there. The offense has been limited a little bit here in the second, but potential 3-on-2. Morrissey with Sterner on his left. Morrissey tries to throw it to Sterner. Sterner taken down from behind, and we're going to get a trip on GBS. So the Spartans will go on the man advantage for the first time this evening.
We've got some Always Sunny music, Curb Your Enthusiasm, going on as Vanderploeg not happy with that call. It is a tripping call. Asher
Vanderploeg, yep. So 2 minutes, 42 seconds left. GBN man up here. It'll be Smith out there with Sterner, Semmelhack, Lyons, and Gerothanis. So a couple of big bodies out there, and Smith and Gerothanis, and then Sully Lyons actually moves up to the forward line with this 5-man power play. Back to the point, Gerothanis. Semmelhack near point. Lyons, Semmelhack. Through some traffic, Sterner through. Sterner gets another shot. Oh, great save made by Preston. Lyons behind the nets to Smith. Smith has his pass deflected, and that's hammered out by GBS. Pretty feed. Couple of really good chances for the Spartans there on that first attempt here on the man advantage. There's still 1:28 left.
Sterner got his rebound cleanly in the slot and just didn't have enough room to elevate that and put it in.
Come out to the neutral zone. Sterner will have to play it, and Blake Smith will have to touch up. Sterner will dump. GBN will chase, and almost in slow motion, that puck came out of the offensive zone. Semmelhack drops to Sterner at the near point. Semmelhack now near wall. Spin onto his forehand. your two defensemen are below the red line.
Yeah.
Semmelhack and Lyons. Semmelhack will take a tour of the attacking zone, drops it for Gerothanis, who has to flip it to himself, and that's cleared, kept in by Sterner for the moment. He bumps into Hofer. Hofer 2-on-1 with Weiss. Hofer in, Hofer through, covered up by Spiegel, and the net comes off its peg, and the GBS people want a penalty, yeah, for sure.
They wanted to hook at the blue line, and I do think that stick got in the midsection, but Hofer was able to continue his forward motion without it impeding too much, so I don't think that there should have been a call there, maybe a little bit, but he still gets the offensive zone opportunity, and Spiegel has to stand tall, short-handed. So this looks a lot like Glenbrook South's power play, where there were more opportunities for the short-handed side of things and not a whole lot of constructive zone time. But you mentioned there's two defensemen on this power play. Typically when you go on a power play, you got 4 forwards and a defenseman, but you had one of your defensemen acting like a forward, so it was still a normal 3-and-2 out there, just in a different formation.
15 seconds left. Luke Jackson goes to Nicholas Jackson. Bounces over his stick. Jackson will play it back to his forehand. Now Luke has it at the near point. And he'll just scale it deep. Power plays up. Back to 5 to his side. Fagan up the wall. That's cleared out. Sarah. Karras. One hands it through. Nice play by Karras. Now to the outside. Karras is shot up over the crossbar. 29 seconds left. Jerzak in deep. Karras bumps into Fagan. Fagan wins that battle. And now it's out. This is Mulvey with 20 into the attacking zone. Mulvey gets around Jerzak off the chest of Spiegel into the near corner. Back to the point and into the neutral zone with 8 seconds left. Vanderplug. That puck is knocked back into the neutral zone as the clock runs out on period 2. Well, you couldn't have a much more even game, Mike. It's 1-1 after one. Shots are 22-22. Mike and I will step aside. We'll let the Zamboni do its job, and we'll be back with third period action. 1-1, North versus South, here on the Glenbrook North Hockey Channel. About 20 seconds left to go before the third period kicks off. GBN, GBS knotted at 1. Shots are even at 22 for the Spartans. It was Raymond Karras, his 10th goal of the season, put the Spartans up 1-0. But in the second period, Blake Hoffer, his 14th goal and 100th of his GBS career, tied it at 1. Each team had a power play in that second period. Neither team scored on the power play. Each team hit a post in that second period. And that's where we are.
Lots of chaos.
Through 34 minutes. It's been a fun 1-1 hockey game. It's been physical. We've seen a lot of good goaltending. And we've seen a little bit of puck luck for the goalies as they've each, as I mentioned, had some post help.
Puck luck. Weird puck bounces, a lot of rafters.
And we've been here, so that the last 2 games we've done here have gone to overtime. The GBN versus St. Viator and GBN versus York both went to overtime. Both of those games the Spartans lost, but we're 1-1 through 34 minutes here. So are we on pace for a third straight overtime game here at the Northbrook Sports Center? We got about 17 minutes to figure that out.
Can't get too much more even than 1-1, 22 shots apiece into a fresh ice surface in the third period.
Jero Thanis has it here for the Spartans. Top of the near circle, winds up to take the slap shot. It's poke-checked away from him. And now the other way with it. And off that clean surface, the puck squirts off the stick of McCrulis. Jero Thanis, nice feed to Sterner behind the back. Sterner cuts out in front. The shot through, the rebound. Ooh, Jero Thanis not able to get his stick on that as he switched to the forehand. But Sterner got clear and got a nice hard wrist shot off on Thomas Preston. Thrown around the far side, nobody there. And played by Ovanian. Ovanian shovels it to himself. Sweeps it out in front just behind Karras, or excuse me, behind Hannes. Hoffer dumps it in on the backhand. Kosmieter sweeps it out in front, but Karras is there, and he'll backhand it to the neutral zone. 1-1 here in the third. Weiss stick handles around Ovanian. Hannes with the two-handed chop on Weiss. Kosmieter in between the circles. He gets knocked down by Hannes. Hannes kicks it to himself. Now Karras tries to break through a triple team. He gets there, and Karras continues to play well as he throws that one out in front.
Karras ran out of room there, but it was his teammate, that Hannes, that
defense to offense,
check.
yeah by Hannes.
Check.
He knocked the Titan skater down and then just found the speedy Karras. That'll be cleared in, and no icing. Hoffer behind his net. Kosmieter in the far corner. Smith buries Fagan into the linesman right in front of the GBS bench. And now Hoffer will have to go back and play it behind his own net. Being trailed by Smith. Hoffer circles his net, works into the neutral zone. Now to his right. Can't cut through Semmelhack. Comes into the near corner. Well, Smith will try to hack at it, and now Smith comes out with it. To Nicholas Jackson, gets bumped by Pinto, keeps moving forward though. Tries to throw it in front for Smith, but ends up behind the net. Karras will get there first. Smith, now Karras behind the net. Karras out the near side. Tries to cycle it to Smith, but it's intercepted by GBS. Knocked down, and that'll be a hand pass on Nicholas Jackson. All he did was stick his hand up and knock it down, but that's enough.
That's enough. It goes to Karras. I'm not sure if that actually, it may have hit the stick of Fagan as it came down, but referees didn't see it as the puck was still kind of there. It would have been like one of those like ghost whacks where it just barely touches the puck, but doesn't move it. So, you know, that's still a hand pass in their mind, so we'll get a face-off. Karras has been shot out of a cannon, though, the lone goal scorer here for the Spartans. And you know, you're on this new ice surface where the puck's moving faster than it was certainly in that second period. And Karras has been one of the only ones that's been able to catch up to it.
Yeah, I said that in the second period, that he's probably been, here's a shot off the right shoulder of Spiegel. He's probably been the best skater out there for the Spartans is Beauvais. Tries to tip that forward to himself, but too much on it, and Preston covers up. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Karras show that speed off all season long, and this was the first time we've seen him able to actually break through. But, yeah, he's been their best forward today. 13:46 left in the third, 1-1. Shots are still even, now at 24. Draw will come to the left of Preston. It'll be Morrissey for the Spartans out there with Sterner and Gerothanis. Sterner wins it. He has it behind the nets. He's back onto the forehand, flips it to Gerothanis behind the net. Theo spins back to the point. Strykowski just rolls it forward. Sterner sweeps it around Morrissey. Morrissey off the back wall, but played there by Fagan. He'll throw it around for McCrulis. McCrulis finds Vanderplug, but he overskates it. And now Gerothanis, hard cross-ice pass Sterner. Puck continues forward. Gerothanis not able to play it in his skates. And now Asher Vanderplug out with it. Vanderplug now into the offensive zone, cuts back to his left, and maybe should have been a trip there on GBN, and I think we are going to have a trip on GBN as Vanderplug. That hard cut and the stick of James Morrissey ended up in his skates, so it'll be a power play for the Titans.
It almost looked like the stick came up and got him in the arm, and he went down from that, but no matter what it was, it knocked him off balance. And
it's a trip.
Yeah, it's a
Again,
trip,
we get some feedback on that referee Mike, but it is a trip called on James Morrissey. So South on the power play here, 13:01 left in the third.
I'd like to see the replay on that one. That stick looked like it came up into his arm and he fell down from it, but nonetheless, it was in the area where he was cutting, and that's sometimes knock you off balance.
Gerothanis had some time, threw it opposite corner. Sterner has it. Backhand it towards the goal. Preston makes the easy save. And now the Titans start out of their own zone. Pass too far out in front of Mulvey. He'll have to go get it and start over. Already 30 seconds gone by. Drop past Vanderplug. Sterner takes the puck away. He's got Gerothanis not able to feed it through to Theo. Gerothanis would have been in all by himself.
That was just really good defense by Mulvey right there to cut that pass off on a desperation play.
Cosmeter gets around Jackson driving the net. The puck is loose and the net's off its pegs.
Spiegel did a great job there to just reach out and poke that, because I think the net was still on when that came to the back door, and that would have been an opportunity for Glenbrook South. Instead, they pop it all the way out into the slot as that frame comes off its magnets, and we get a whistle much needed for the Spartans.
Minute 15 left on the power play, 12:15 left in the game, or in the third period. Draws one by South. Fagan near point. Gerothanis watching him. Fagan shot through a screen, deflects wide of the near side.
I think that hit Semmelhack on the way there.
Boris now back to the point. Fagan. Fagan again. That one high and wide. Sterner chops at it, and it trickles out to center ice. Where's Zach Boris? Plays it to Weiss. Right back on the counterattack, but good defense, of course, by Jake Semmelhack right at the near point to tip the puck away. It's cleared out. And 38 seconds. Mulvey to his right, gains the red line, scales it in. Weiss stops it along the near half wall. And it's cleared up to the point. Fagan to Mulvey, top of the far circle wide.
A lot of chaos in front of that net.
Weiss not able to deflect that in on the back door. The puck comes off the far half. Jackson has his stick chopped at, and that's cleared out by Semmelhack. 6 seconds left. Another good PK for GBN, but you got to be careful here. This is where the Spartans scored last time, was right after GBN was able to kill off the power play. Centering pass by Jerzak is deflected wide, and now the Titans out with it. Hofer. Shot into the body of Spiegel. Logan covers up, and we'll have a face-off with 10:43 left, third period.
No surprise there. Good tracking from Spiegel as that pass comes cross ice and able to just swallow that one up in the breadbasket, and we'll get a face-off to his glove side. He's done a great job on this power play, but as you mentioned, Aaron, a lot going on in the offensive zone despite being shorthanded for the Spartans, and they're back to even strength. So just kill the rest of this here and keep it out, because like you said, you don't want to give up a late goal after the power play again.
It's cleared deep. Boris back to play. It's Sarazon at first, though. Sarah gets pinned up against the wall. Over to help him is Smith, who shovels it to himself. Blake looking for Jerzak, and he runs over his own teammate. Friendly fire there. Smith takes out Jerzak, and we're going to have a penalty called.
Looks like, yeah, we are going to be
penalty called on South, I think.
That was a signal for tripping. But no, I guess we're going to have a face-off just in their zone. Why is this coming down into their zone?
Now we're going to have an offensive zone draw for Glenbrook North.
Not sure
Blake
why.
Smith ran over Damian Jerzak there. That was the definition of friendly fire, but Damian is okay.
Still 5-on-5 here, though.
Yeah.
Not sure what that whistle was for.
Sterner tries to stick handle. Back to Gerothanis near wall. Lyons hits a body out in front. Vanderplug gets tied up with Gerothanis. Gerothanis has the puck here. Morrissey takes it in the shot, and I saw that puck loose. The Preston covers up, and a little after the whistle stuff from Theo and Vanderplug.
Morrissey and Gerothanis coming in on that wing, on that dot. If it got poked from one of them, the other one was right there. Nice chemistry between the two, but they get that puck right down low in the slot area or near the crease, and one more pass across. Not sure if that lane was open or not. Sterner was backdoor.
Draws one by GBS, but the Spartans take it here, and overskating it was Morrissey, and that lets McCrulis come out with it for the Titans. Thrown through. Spiegel sees it through some traffic and makes the save. Pinto gets bumped. Lyons gets taken down, and no penalty?
Wow.
Wow. Lyons had his legs taken out from underneath him. That looked as blatant can be, but fortunate break for the Titans there.
I'm scratching my head.
Yeah, me too. That looked like a clear trip missed by the officials here as we're under 10. Hoffer into the corner. Vanderplug and Sterner get tied up. Sterner wins it. Goes up to Morrissey. Vanderplug, Hoffer down here right in front of us. We'll just wait and throw it opposite corner. Semmelhack will go back to play it under 9. Semmelhack gives it away at the far point, but Strykowski was coming off the bench. Fortunately for GBN, as Strykowski falls down on top of Jonah Weiss.
Yeah, GBN might have gotten that call right back there.
Yeah, I think that's a make-up non-call as Hannes goes cross ice to relieve the pressure. You can hit somebody, you just can't lay on top of them once you've knocked them down.
Yeah, you can't give them a little cross check too while you're going
Cosmeter tries to rip it top corner, goes high. Karras out to center ice, O'Vanian. Now Karras again. Karras breaks through, and he's not able to get the shot off. Good help defense there by Anthony Pinto. Now South comes out with it. Weiss, cross ice, Cosmeter. It's bumped by Strykowski. That pass, Karras is knocked down. Strykowski runs into Luke Fagan. Semmelhack behind his own net with 7:45 left. It's chipped to the neutral zone. Just walking back in is Luke Fagan. Semmelhack will bump into him there, separate him from the puck. Karras tries to backhand it up, gives it up. Hoffer's shot, I think that caught Semmelhack, and Jake looks like he's in some pain here. Leave that where it is, as we'll just say he took that shot, I think, below the belt.
Yeah.
And he's going to go to the bench.
I'm not sure if that deflected off Spiegel in net, because that was a point-blank opportunity and found Semmelhack in the corner, or if Hoffer just missed it. Hoffer had a huge upset alert as Lincoln Way Junior Varsity leads proud. Yeah, we're getting an update of other scores around the league here, but as I was saying, Spiegel may have gotten a piece of that because Hoffer had a really nice shift right there, waiting for his teammates to change up and then dumping it, giving him an extra couple seconds. And he had a couple of tired Spartans out there as the Titans were able to not only change up, but keep the puck as close as the neutral zone. Puck didn't really get deep
Smith
there.
steals the puck, and took a shot from a bad angle, and you see Jake Semmelhack over by the GBN bench. He's in some discomfort right now. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see.
Smith steals the puck again. There's no nice way to talk about that on a broadcast.
No.
You know what I mean? There really isn't.
But also with it being your top defenseman, it's something you don't want happening.
Of course.
I hope he can get back out there pretty soon.
I'm sure he'll be back out there. Sarah tipped deep by Nicholas Jackson, and Semmelhack's back on the bench, so my guess is he'll be back out there sooner rather than later. McCrulis now for the Titans. Vanderplug cuts through the defense. Nice poke check at the last minute by Luke Jackson to take it away. Vanderplug goes over to Mulvey. Mulvey shot through, and the save made by Spiegel. The rebound goes wide. Pass out to Sterner. Jackson Sterner's in all alone. Sterner forehand, backhand, and he scores! Jackson Sterner gives Glenbrook North a 2-1 lead. The pretty long pass, Sterner, forehand, backhand, roof job, 2-1 Spartans.
What a stretch pass through the neutral zone, and Sterner, right place, right time. Typically, you're seeing the previous goal scorer tonight, Karras, up on that wing there, but Sterner turns on the Jets himself. And as you said, Aaron, beautiful forehand, backhand, roof job into the near side corner, and it is a 2-1 game. We've seen a 1-0 lead from Glenbrook North. Aaron, I don't think we've seen a 2-1 lead.
We haven't, and they got to hang on for another 6 minutes. Here's Luke Jackson behind the nets. He's able to get away from Owen Cosmeter. Around the near side, kept in though by Pinto at the near point. Feathered forward for Weiss, but Strykowski is there. Strykowski up off the wall. Sterner shovels it forward, but it's played by Pinto. Pinto off the glass and out. Weiss tries the drop pass for Hoffer. Hoffer top of the near dot, poked away from him by Morrissey. Gets it back, throws it out in front. Fagan, his shot from the top of from the blue line, excuse me, and the net came off its peg again. That near post. And we're down to 5:27 left. Big game here for Glenbrook North. A win would bring their record back to even at 10-10 and move them within 2 points of GBS. GBS 26 points in 23 games. GBN 22 points in 23 games.
That shot rings off the end boards, and they're very active boards that came back on Spiegel. And when he slid back to cover that puck, he took the net with him. So no harm, no foul. We'll get an offensive zone face-off for Glenbrook South.
Pinto throws it around for Sarah. Sarah will have to go back and play it with Hoffer, and
Big
knocks
hit.
Hoffer down as he gave the hit rather than waiting for it to come. Lions got Karras and Ovanian, goes cross ice for Ovanian. Ovanian, his shot is swept away by the stick of Preston. Goal number 16 of the season for Jackson Sterner.
That last hit came up high as well.
Gerothanis with one of the assists, and Vincent Serra with the other. So Sterner from Gerothanis and Serra.
Glenbrook North's got to be careful of that door right there. A couple of times where I thought might have been too many men. Referee was looking on that last puck. That found them as well.
Smith steals the puck. Shot deflected wide. Pinto. It's deflected down by Luke Jackson. He'll play it to himself. Up to play it is Jerzak, and now GBS the other way. Hoffer, the save by Spiegel. The puck comes loose, and it's deflected wide. Still on the attack is GBS, right in between the circles. That's backhanded and deflected out. Comes down to Fagan, who's in between the circles, and he scores. Will Fagan with 3:49 left ties it at 2. GBN just not able to control the puck there, Mike. Too many chances for the Titans, and it's 2-2.
Bouncing, rolling, leaping puck in that offensive zone for Glenbrook South, and they just get their own rebound multiple times. Fagan had a nice toe drag prior to that. The rebound eventually finds him again in that high slot, and too many bodies in front. Spiegel not able to find it, and we're knotted at 2. This game seems like it is not only far from decided, but itching to go into a little bit of free hockey, if you know what I mean.
It feels like the hockey gods want some additional free hockey.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens over the final 3:30. Here's Tutai. He'll cut to his left. He'll shoot it in. The pad save made by Spiegel. Gerothanis just back to the blue line, and Spiegel makes that save standing straight up.
Yeah, that one didn't look comfortable, but it was a failed clear by Glenbrook North. I don't think he was expecting it to come back on net, but had to track that one as well. South now out shooting Glenbrook North 33-27, and a lot of that has come from this gritty bouncing and ricocheting low slot here. So you can't play in front of your net and expect Spiegel to make all of those saves.
Back to the point, the deflection. Oof. Spiegel was able to cover up there. Wow.
That even rattled around in his mitt after he made the save. So
I think they're going to say it was played with a high stick, so it's going to come. So GBN's going to get an offensive zone draw here out of it.
Okay.
So nice save made by Spiegel. It ended up being unnecessary, but another nice stop by Logan. We'll have an offensive zone face-off to the right of Thomas Preston. Morrissey, Sterner, Gerothanis, Sarah, and Sully Lyons. For the Spartans, it's 1. The puck is thrown in towards the goal, and Sterner has his glove knocked off his hand. Now GBS comes out. Vanderplug coming up the back door, drop past Tutai. His shot deflects wide. Vanderplug with 3 minutes left into the near corner. Sarah backhanding it around. Lyons will give chase, but it'll be Luke Fagan to get there first. And Vanderplug right on the doorstep, or excuse me, that was Tutai, Alexander Tutai, right on the doorstep trying to tip that in, but another save made by Spiegel.
That was redirected right into the lower pads, and that could have been dangerous. But Spiegel in his butterfly position rather than that pseudo VH that most goaltenders have switched to, and not able to slide that puck in between the pads is Glenbrook South.
And we have not seen Semmelhack come back into the game. He's still standing down there by the GBN bench as this puck is kept in by GBS. It's blocked by Sarah, chipped up into the air, and tapped out. Smith not able to play it cleanly to Beauvais, and right back the other way come the Titans, who have the momentum here. It's 2-2 with 2.5 minutes left. Sarah will ice it. No, they're going to wave it off.
Fans wanted an offsides call there against Glenbrook South. I think they tagged up legally, though, but it was close.
Hofer tapping it to Cosmeter. Cosmeter throws it onto the stick of Nicholas Jackson with 2:08 left. Jackson tries the self-pass. He continues to just skate forward with it, but eventually it's taken away by Blake Hofer. Hofer taking it wide. He has it below the red line, centers it. It's off the stick of Weiss behind the net. Hofer throws the puck back to the point, and that'll come out. I see Semmelhack back on the bench. He's moving between the bench and the area right to the left of the bench. Hofer near far point. He's been out there for about 3 minutes now. We're down to 90 seconds. Stick handling is Cosmeter. That was Vanderplug, rather, dangling. Fagan, Will Fagan near circle. Gets hit by Karras, and it's pushed out to center ice. Connor Hannes will race for the puck with Mulvey. Ovanian gets stick-checked by Hofer.
Don't get caught in the offensive zone now. You got to backtrack.
Vanderplug drops it from Mulvey, who will dump it in with 64 seconds left. Semmelhack back into the game. Puck is knocked down out of midair by Hannes. Karras will dump it in as we're under a minute. rides the dasher all the way, and that hits somebody along the GBS bench.
Yeah, we play on, though.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Tutai clears it in. Sarah will go back and get it with Vanderplug on the aggressive forecheck up to Theo. Gerald Thanis pass a little bit behind Morrissey. And now Fagan, Will Fagan, scored the game-tying goal with about 3.5 minutes left, takes the shot, and that was going to go wide, but Logan makes the save. 26.6 seconds left in the third period.
You saw a little bit of desperation there along the near wall from the Spartans as the Titans were putting the pressure on offensively. It almost forced Glenbrook North to get Semmelhack back out there. He's back out there again now, but you start to see how much the offense rides for GBS when that number 95 is not out there for the Spartans.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. And I talked about how much I expected him to be out there tonight. If he hadn't gotten dinged up here in the third period, he probably would have been out there, and you wonder whether or not that goal would have been scored, right? I mean, He wasn't on the ice. He was dealing with some sort of injury when that goal was scored, as the third period will end. And for the third consecutive home game, we will play 3-on-3 overtime here between North and South. These two teams, they played to overtime back in November. That was a 4-3 Spartans win. It was a game-winning goal by Vincent Serra. Mike and I are going to step aside for about 90 seconds. We'll come back with some extra free hockey. Overtime about to start here. It was overtime against St. Viator. That was a 2-1 loss. It was overtime against York. It was a 3-2 loss. And Mike, in both of those games, I don't know that GBN touched the puck. It was all about possession for both of those games, and they were on their heels the entire overtime, especially in that last game against York. The first three players that came out onto the ice were on the ice for over 2.5 minutes playing defense against the York Dukes before the Dukes won that game in overtime.
And if you're the Titans, if you can, I don't know, look those stats up, you're definitely keeping that in mind as you're out there. And any team is going to go into overtime thinking possession is crucial. But if you're the Spartans, the number one thing here, the key to overtime, is do not get hemmed in your own zone. And a lot of that goes back to the possession that you were talking about, Aaron. You've done a nice job throughout this game so far of turning that possession back over, whether it's been in the offensive zone or the defensive zone. You haven't given up as many shots on goal as you typically have. In fact, I believe Mr. Spiegel has only seen about half of what he usually sees in a certain game.
Close to, yeah.
Let's see if you can pepper this goaltender on the Glenbrook South side in Thomas Preston.
Yeah, Spiegel stopped 32 out of 34. Preston has stopped 26 out of 28. It'll be Smith, Sterner, Semmelhack for GBN. It will be Hoffer, Cosmeter, and Will Fagan for GBS, and that was huge, winning that initial face-off, getting possession. Let's see what GBN can do with it. Sterner drops it for Semmelhack. Jake is slow and pivot back. You have to think.
Exactly what you got to do.
You have to think that GBN has been working on this, right? I mean, they're as they throw the puck to space, and Thanis, who has replaced Smith, is out there, gives it away, and it's given away right back. You have to think that they've worked on this, right? Because of the way those last 2 home games have gone, that they've worked on possession in the attacking zone, or just possession in overtime. Here's Semmelhack. Thanis, his shot is deflected down. Sterner not able to get there. It's taken away by Fagan, and now GBS will come out with it. Thrown forward for Blake Hoffer. Hoffer trying to work around Semmelhack. He does. He drives the net, throws it off of Spiegel, and drop past Sterner. Back to Thanis. Theo takes the shot. The blocker down. Sterner. Oh, the puck rolled up on him, and he got up underneath and threw it up over the crossbar. Semmelhack keeps it in, though. He's got nobody back with him, though. Thanis, I think, was exhausted, but if Theo had kept his head up and gone the other direction rather than going to the bench, he would have come in on a 2-on-1.
I like that move, though. Thanis had a long shift.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just got to keep possession. So Semmelhack actually took that puck back, though, while being covered, and he was the only man back. So it's a little risky there, but you keep possession by moving the puck into a safe space.
Sarah now with Nicholas Jackson and James Morrissey as we're down to 3:10. Already a better overtime session for GBN than what we've seen. I don't know if it's going to mean that they're going to walk out of here with a win today, but already better than what we saw against St. Viator and York. Jackson has it poke-checked away from him. Racing for it's Asher Vanderplug. He'll bump into Sarah. 2-on-1, pushed over to the near side. Mulvey's going to get there first for GBS. He gets bumped by Morrissey, knocked down, gets back up. Back to the point. Weiss, he'll have to come back to the neutral zone to play it, but that's fine. Vanderplug spins, takes his time. Now he shoots, blocker down by Spiegel. Sarah gets bumped down by Vanderplug. Out in front, Weiss throws it through. Vanderplug was looking on the back door for the tip, but it's deflected into the netting. 2:19 left, and that faceoff will allow GBN to come back with Sterner, Thanis, and Semmelhack.
Yeah, much needed whistle to get some tired legs off the ice and get a fresh look out there for the Spartans. The Titans were pressuring heavily in that offensive zone, and a huge hit in the corner to boot, but nothing doing thus far. If you're Glenbrook North, you got to win this draw, keep possession, and break out cleanly.
And Sterner does just that. Wins the draw back to Jake Semmelhack as we're down to 2:13. Semmelhack drops it back for Sterner. Now Sterner with a head of steam moving forward with it. Jackson into the attacking zone, top of the far dot. Gets the puck a little far out in front of him, throws it back to the point, and it splits. Thanis and Semmelhack as we're under 2. Theo's going to go all the way back in front of his goalie, and now he'll start up ice. Drop pass Semmelhack. Jake now into the attacking zone, near half wall, spins there. Dumps it for Thanis. Thanis back to Semmelhack right in front of us at the near point. And he has his pocket picked, and that puck is going to come out to center ice. It'll be Luke Fagan with Cosmeter. The save is made by Spiegel.
A little bit of a seesaw, or what do you want to call it?
It really has. I mean, it's been an interesting overtime in that you normally see a lot of 2-on-1s and odd man rushes on power plays, and we haven't seen, or in overtime, we haven't seen anything here. It's been a lot of getting into the offensive zone and then giving the puck up. We're going to get a timeout here with 1:18 left.
Glenbrook South side of things for the timeout, but yeah, it's been back and forth on both ends. Both teams playing very conservatively because they want to keep that possession in this overtime period, and you've only got another 78 seconds to work for it. So, you know, you're just going to try to draw up the best shot you can take if you get the offensive zone pressure. But for the Glenbrook North Spartans, I mean, you're just looking to get this into the offensive zone again and set up.
We haven't seen a shootout yet. It's the one thing we haven't done yet this season in our 2025-26 high school hockey season. And as you mentioned, we're 78 seconds away from that. 2-2 here.
It's been in my mind here as we continue to have these seconds tick off the clock in this overtime frame. The team who called that timeout, they're done drawing up their play, ready to take the draw in the offensive zone as Glenbrook South. The Titans are out there, but...
And this timeout also allows GBN to stick with Semmelhack, Sterner, and Jarothanis. It allows them to stick with their 3 best players.
Catch your breath, but also draw something up, because once again, you're in the defensive zone. You got to win this cleanly. You did a nice job of that last time and breaking out of the zone. You see a lot of push and back entries. You got to do that again to puck protect.
And for GBS, it'll be Asher Vanderplug, Blake Hoffer, and Mulvey. Is GBN calling a timeout now?
GBN is now calling a timeout. Good play.
It's like basketball, right? You call one timeout, you drop your inbound play, and then the other team calls the timeout once they see what you're lining up. So Mike and I are going to step aside here for just a second. We're going to take our breath, catch our breath. This has been a great one. 2-2 here in overtime. There we go. 1 minute, 18 seconds left. Both teams have used their timeouts now. Semmelhack, Sterner, Jarothanis, Hoffer, Asher Vanderplug, Ryan Mulvey are your 6 skaters. Another face-off win by Jackson Sterner. He'll shovel it along to Semmelhack. Jake will let the traffic go by, and GBN's going to take their time here. This feels like, the last 20 seconds of a quarter in a basketball game where it's the last possession. If you're GBN, you don't want to give GBS another opportunity here, right? Stand there for another 20 seconds if you need to.
Right.
And try to get up ice and get that last opportunity offensively.
Get out of your zone as cleanly as possible, or don't.
Go right back in.
Just continue, yeah.
Jarothanis will take it back behind his own net with 39 seconds. And drop it for Jackson Sterner. Sterner up to Semmelhack. Semmelhack into the offensive zone. Drop pass, Sterner. Sterner gets bumped up against the boards, taken away by Asher Vanderplug with 20. Vanderplug has Hoffer on his right. Tries to skate through the defense. Cut off, loses an edge. Mulvey center ice with 9 seconds left. He'll throw it over to space. Hoffer with 5. He's across the red line. He'll take the shot as the horn sounds, and we'll have a shootout.
Both teams playing very conservative.
That was very conservative. You play for that point, right? As we will have a shootout here in just a minute. We'll be right back with more hockey here from the Northbrook Sports Center. We are about ready. So through 4 periods of play, 37-29 shots on goal favor Glenbrook South. Spartans goal scorers Raymond Karras, Jackson Sterner, Blake Hoffer, Will Fagan. for the Glenbrook South Titans. And getting us started will be Asher Vanderplug. Vanderplug, leading goal scorer for GBS, 14 goals on the season. And here we go, Vanderplug with some speed in between the circles, stick handles, and he scores. That rolled up off the right pad of Logan Spiegel and ramped up.
Spiegel had him in front the entire way, tracking him perfectly, and just not enough of the pad to cover that one before it rides up, as you mentioned, and finds its way into the netting.
Now Gerald Thanis has to score to keep this one going.
Yeah, this is a sudden death from one.
Theo with 8 goals on the season. He'll start in front of the GBS bench, cuts it back onto his forehand, and Theo Gerothanis made it look easy. And we'll play on. That was pretty by Gerothanis. He had Preston all out of position there, Mike.
Yeah, I mentioned tracking on one end, and nothing against Preston. He's played a nice game tonight, but he did not stay with Gerothanis from end to end on that one, and that was just a wide open cage for Gerothanis to put it in.
Owen Cosmeter, 10 goals on the season. His cage is loose. In between the circles now, dangles, and he's poke-checked by Logan Spiegel. Nice aggressive play by the senior. Maybe one or two many stick handles by Cosmeter there, Mike, and Spiegel was able to poke that stick out and knock it away. Now a chance for GBN to win it. Jackson Sterner, 16 goals for Jackson, spins the stick in his hand, and he'll start in front of the GBS bench. Sterner now in between the dots, and he had Preston beat. The puck just rolled off his stick, and he couldn't lift the backhand.
Similar idea to his teammate Gerothanis, who scored. He didn't go quite as wide to force the goaltender to go east to west, but he had it on his forehand and brought it to the backhand to try to get the goalie to bite, and he did. He just had that puck roll off the backhand.
Now Blake Hoffer scored a goal tonight. Hoffer bearing in, and there's another save by Spiegel. First time we haven't seen a shooter try to deke the goalie.
Yeah, he just went for the clean shot there, and that's not going to beat a guy like Spiegel, who has a .960 save percentage. It's been spectacular tonight. You saw the poke check on that last shot, and this one he stays with him as well.
Now it's Austin Beauvais with a chance to be the hero. Beauvais without a regular season goal this year. Let's see what he comes up with. Beauvais on the forehand, and that's a nice left pad save by Preston.
Well, you mentioned no regular season goals. You got to wonder if this guy's a shootout specialist, but just couldn't come up with it on that one. Nice moves nonetheless, but good work with the pads from Preston to keep that one out and keep this game going.
Now Ryan Mulvey, the C on his chest. He starts forward. He'll come to his left for the first time. And that breaks through the glove of Spiegel.
Oh, wow.
Looked like Logan had it cleanly, but it breaks through and ends up in the net. So now it's...
We've seen some odd bounces in this game, and that one just an odd bounce. But we have another C on the ice.
Yep, Jake Semmelhack out there to try to keep this one going. Semmelhack slowly forward. The captain scores!
Wow.
That was pretty by Jake Semmelhack. I think he was hearing it from the GBS bench as he was skating in front of him, and he gave him that little "I don't hear you now" sign as he scores there.
Yeah, he put his hand up to his ear, and boy, oh boy, was that not just a beautiful celly, but this move in front as well.
Teddy McCrulis the other way for GBS. And McCrulis is in. And he lifts the backhand up under the crossbar. And pressure back on GBN. It's going to be Karras, it looks like.
See if Karras decides to go with the speed despite it being a shootout here. He gives his goaltender a tap, some reassurance there, because that was a tough one on Spiegel.
Now
Can
Karras
he keep it alive?
trying to keep this one going. Karras scored a goal early. He'll cut to his right. Now back in, and that'll do it. GBS wins 3-2 in a shootout as Raymond Karras is stopped by the glove of Thomas Preston. And man, we have seen some good hockey here over the last couple of weeks. 3 overtime games. This GBN team is so darn close. They're getting great goaltending, great defense. The offense just needs a little bit more, and they could start winning some hockey games, but they're running out of chances here. They lose this one to GBS by the score of 3-2.
We saw the offense a little bit here tonight, and it just got swallowed up by a good comeback from Glenbrook South. But a rivalry game, you got to kind of shut it down. And that last shot there from Karras, he opens up the hips and tries to confuse the goaltender a little bit, but Preston stays right with him, and that's how this one ends as the away team, the visitors, Glenbrook South, come away with a 3-2 victory in a shootout. But no regulation can split these two teams thus far this year.
These teams have won on the opposing team's ice in overtime. Well, that's going to do it here from the Northbrook Sports Center. He's Mike Napolitano. I'm Aaron Shellen, and that's going to do it for Glenbrook North hockey here tonight. Didn't go our way, but still a fun game here from Northbrook. The Spartans lose 3-2. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.